Okay, I've got our mite treatment now, so we're going to use Formic Pro, and this is an organic acid. First and foremost, always follow the instructions. I've got nitrile gloves on. This is one of the times where I always wear gloves because you're dealing with an organic acid. You don't want to get that on your skin. You can wear a mask, respirator if you want to. There's two options for treating with Formic Pro. Single dose treatment that is a 14-day 2-pad treatment, and then option 2 is a single pad for 10 days and you replace it after 10 days. So it's a 20-day treatment window. And basically you kind of want to tailor that to the strength of the bees. You got to have a minimum of 6 frames of bees. The way that I do it is if I only have a single brood box, I don't want to put a double pad in there because that strong outgassing, that initial outgassing spike can really cause some queen issues in weaker colonies. And so we're going to do the Randy Oliver method where we split this foil and actually use this foil to help slow down that initial spike and make it a more even extended release. These pads, per the instructions, are going to go on top of the bottom brood box and staggered basically over top of the brood. And there will be some brood loss, and that's kind of expected because we're trying to kill the mites, and the mites are going to be inside of the capped brood as well. So there will be some dead bees, and that's perfectly normal. Typically the first 1 to 3 days. But there's a couple things that we have to do. So we have to make sure that the bees have plenty of ventilation. So we need to remove any entrance reducers, mouse guard. So we're going to take that off because the bees have got to have access to fresh air. And if you have a screen bottom board, you do need to close that off because we also want to trap these vapors. And so I'm going to get back into the hive here. I'm going to put the pads between the 2 boxes. I'm going to open the package here in a way that I can kind of split it. I'm going to cut the foil in half. So you'll see basically this is a foil wrapper, and then inside is this kind of soaked, it's really basically cardboard. There's 2 pads that are together with this paper wrap on the outside. You definitely need to leave the paper wrap in place. It acts as a wick to kind of control the release, okay? You can see there they just tear apart. I've got 2 pads, and I'll let the bees work their way away from these pads. And you'll see they'll run away from them here. Okay. Basically, we want them kind of spaced a couple inches apart, and we want it near the brood. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is take this foil and split it in half. Basically, we're going to use this to throttle and slow down the initial release, because when I take these pads out there's all this exposed surface area, and so they're very quickly outgassing. And you can see the bees have run away from them already. So what we're going to do is put this foil on them, and that's going to slow down the outgassing, kind of manage the outgassing, if you will, for the first day or 2 or 3, and that's the critical period. You can do this with honey supers on. Formic acid is approved. With honey supers, we had some extra space in this hive, so I didn't have to worry about overcrowding too much. If you've got a really packed double deep hive and you've got a lot of resources coming in, they actually recommend that you put a super on top to have airspace for the bees to kind of separate, to kind of come away from the fumes. As they start fanning and managing, they'll blow those fumes around. That's going to be on there for 14 days. Leave the hive undisturbed for that period of time. Basically let the bees be bees. They're continuing to bring in resources and doing all the cool things that they're supposed to do. I do want to say too, that's exactly why we measure the mites, because this hive looks perfectly healthy. But with that mite load, it's going to make the bees sick all winter. And so that colony collapse could occur in the wintertime or coming out of spring, get to those critical thresholds of virus buildup over the winter. And so that's why we check our mite counts. We want to know where we're at, know how strongly and aggressively we need to treat. We're going to do our treatment, and then we'll check our mite count again to make sure that we actually had the knockdown in mites, and we can actually have confidence going into winter that these bees are going to have the best opportunity to survive that we can possibly give them. Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed day. Hope your bees are healthy.